center, our objective is to help people like they are changing careers or junior designers to explore and to practice things. So we are different from other communities because we don't only have speakers per month, like talking about some nice design subjects. We want you to practice things. So we have all these practice sessions like whiteboarding, like portfolio reviews, like resume reviews or some tips for interviews. So the idea is for you to participate, to be here in the meeting. Please, if you want to turn on your camera, it will be great because we are all in our houses. We are missing this human contact. So if you want to turn on your camera, you are welcome. You can eat meanwhile, you can be in your pajamas, whatever you want, but just this is something to have fun and relax. Except for the people now in the whiteboard challenge that they are going to be super stressed and that's normal. So yeah, so how is this session going? I'm going to give you a subject and I'm going to give you a link. I'm going to send the link only for the people in the group. And we will show the link, the board here on the screen. So the idea is you will have, now it's 7:41, you will have around 20 minutes to work on that idea. You can ask questions. We have some tips there in the board that you can follow if you want. Please, so the idea is to cooperate with each other, talk with each other, don't be shy. If you don't have any idea or something new to say, at least comment into others' ideas. So the whiteboarding challenge, when you have this kind of interviews, the designers, they want to see how you work. They want to see how it's working with you. So if you are there and you don't participate, you don't have too many chances to show your skills. So please, everyone, turn off your mics, and only the people in the group will have their mic on. And I will share with you. Leticia, do you have the links?
For the Discord? For what?
No, for the whiteboarding. Okay, I'm going to send the links to the people. So first fortune.
You can give me and I can post it. By the way, Mike Cordeiro is here. So nice to see you here, Mike. Thank you for coming. And he is a great portfolio reviewer that we have in IterateUX. So happy to see you here.
Great. Happy to be here, guys.
Yes.
Okay, so group one is Vidal, Nico, Fortune, and I think I missed someone. Joe is not here. Monica. Okay, I need one person more. I think I have someone disconnected. I need one person more for the group one. Can
Stephanie?
you say me?
Can we join? Yeah. Can I join?
Yeah.
Like the group? Is it fine?
Yes, yes. I'm going to send you the link now. And I'm sending you the link, Leticia. So maybe you can share your screen, Leticia.
Awesome.
We will go for the first challenge. So you have 25 minutes maybe, and at the end of the subject, when they finish the challenge, please, all the people in the room, ask your questions. You can comment. You can say, "Oh, I will do this different." Okay, so please participate. Have a critical thinking is very important for a designer. So yeah, we want to hear your voice. I don't want to talk at the end of the meeting, so please, you can participate. So group one, everyone is there. Vidal, Fortune, Abin, are you there in the link?
Yeah, I guess.
Yes, you can sign in as a guest too. You don't need to create an account.
Yeah. I just did.
Okay, group one.
Liz, did you add me to a group?
Okay, let's wait.
Okay, Andre, maybe you in the next group.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, how you are going to count down?
Yeah, I'm going to take the time.
Okay.
You have 25 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Ask questions to specify the challenge. Create a video call app like Zoom or Google Meeting for senior and user 65 years old. Nice to meet you guys. And So first thing to define, what is the problem? Specify the challenge. So create a video app. So let's do that.
Remember, you can ask questions or you can make your assumptions, whatever you want.
And don't forget to collaborate in a team, guys.
One quick question. So we are a group, we need to work together or we have to create our own?
You work together. Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, this is my first time.
Yes, no, don't worry.
For the stakeholder, I would like to ask, how would you present this in the beginning for a 65 years old? Like, would it be in a senior home or would it be in?
Yes.
Or just like from their internet? Just like, I don't know, just a little context wise, I would say.
So let's say we are a company and we have different retirement homes, and with this COVID situation, we need something to connect our seniors with their families. And we have this problem, and we have some people that they are not always people around to help them with all the tech. So we want to have something kind of simple for them to use. We have a computer in the retirement home, so we want to create a little app. We are a very wealthy company, so we will create our own app for them to connect with their families.
Yeah, and a following question to Liz again. Was this a real-time problem that you faced, or it was a hypothetical one that you just came across?
Yeah, we are using Zoom now, but it's very complicated. So we want actually to have our own app.
Oh, your own in-house app.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, I want to have an in-house.
Why? One quick question, one more. Why to take another route when we already have WhatsApp as a video call, which is user-friendly? People know how to use it.
Yeah, so the first thing, we want to make it a desktop because the seniors, they don't have smartphones, and the people that have smartphones is too small, so they can't read most of the time. So we want to have something desktop now. Because of that, we are not using WhatsApp because WhatsApp doesn't have video calls in the desktop version, and Zoom is way too complicated.
Sorry, Fortune, you are in mute, and you are collaborating as well. So you have to unmute your,
Okay,
there you go.
Yeah, I tried to ask a question. I didn't. Okay, now I get it. Okay, so they already asked those questions. I wanted to ask if it's going to be on a desktop or you mentioned a desktop, but I thought when you said an app, I thought maybe they could use it on the phone. So you want to use it on a desktop, not a phone.
Yes, in a desktop.
These are the constraints that you are putting, right? Because when it comes to a 65-year-old, I guess flexibility and movement is something that they really cannot do. A desktop cannot come to them while a phone can.
So it has to be accessible.
Accessible.
You'll have to excuse my spelling.
Accessible and can be used on multiple platforms as well. Then it would be only desktop specific, right? It won't change to a mobile or a iPad.
Yeah, so only desktop.
Only desktop. Okay.
So, and this is a video app for seniors. Okay, so it has to be accessible. It has to be easy to use because that age group is usually less computer savvy, I would say. Not all, many do, maybe many are, but I know that as you age, your processing is a little slower. So we have to make it very easy to use. So we have to, very easy to use. What else? What else do we need? I would think about maybe using voice instructions.
So my first thing I was thinking about with I don't want to interject too, Fortune. Is that okay?
Sure, go ahead.
So,
yeah, fine.
The first thing I think about is like accessibility, or like people are old that at the range retirement home, they are familiar with phone numbers, and that's like the first thing that they still remember. It's usually the
Yeah.
numbers. So I
Mhm.
think I would usually like project that way as having like someone's phone number, and
Mhm.
most likely, it's like not the like. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're gonna dive into context wise, but more on like the people will call you, the family will call the senior citizen to say like how they're
Mhm.
doing. So,
So basically,
I actually like
you
the idea.
yeah,
right,
basically, you are suggesting that we use a phone number to connect rather than
or like
email
an
or
ID,
meeting IDs.
like you said. So,
Yes. Yes, it could
Yeah,
make it much
got it.
simpler, like have a
Got it.
contact list with the phone numbers, and then they can just click on their contact and let it go straight to video.
okay,
Mhm.
To
yeah.
make it
So
easier.
yeah, I think that's a great idea. So right now we
Okay.
have 5 minutes, so we could start like moving towards on the screens or like screen idea and how we're gonna write down like the flow.
So the flow, yeah, let's work on the flow.
Right.
Why am
We
I, oh, okay, here.
like a certain,
Let's work on the flow.
so right now we'll get
So
it's
are we focusing on the dialing in? We'll use that flow, like the people go on the platform and they dial in to make the call.
yes. I think that's a great idea. Like just a phone number or like someone puts in their phone number or they're gonna receive it to a specific person. I think
Okay, so let's see how they start. We'll start with first you have to go on the platform, so you have to sign in, right? You have to sign in. The sign in. Then they have to
dial.
oh, you're writing it there. Okay, excellent. Then no, you have to sign in. Then you have to pick a contact, right? Choose a contact,
The contact.
and then you have to you have to sign in. You have to pick a contact,
And then call.
and then call,
Like
and then call.
contact slash call is to be the same idea. And then last but not least, the video call.
So you want to do. So once they click the contact, it's already calling.
Yeah. Because like later on, it's just like this is just like the user flow. So it's just
Yeah.
trying to do
I
the
hope it's
thing.
okay. I moved it here, so it's like I want
Yeah,
it to
I
flow
guess
under.
Move around. Sorry.
we are missing out here is again the signing process that we will be putting is going to be a longer one, which we don't want for a 65-year-old
Yeah.
adult, right? So I guess the first step should be very less as possible. Instead of signing in through an email or through a phone number, I feel we shouldn't be giving that way. Might be
I would
a,
I would I would say like on regards to sign in, it's just in like an essence of the retirement homes account, and then they could have a communal like account, and then the senior home would say that, oh, I know a phone number.
yeah,
I know a contact.
and also because the point is here even the visibility could be a hurdle while looking at the screen. So might
Yeah.
be for signing in rather than letting the user type a lot. If we can give a tangible product for a thumbprint or something which could directly let the user sign in through the thumbprint, just
I
the
think
way we do for
Thumbprint.
that's an interesting one. I like that
just
one.
the way we do for our
Yeah.
MacBooks, the
Yeah.
latest MacBooks, we have the thumbprint.
All right.
And considering that they are from the vintage people, that time people did not really trust so much on the keyboards and the signing. They really trusted on their thumbs and writing on everything. So I feel we could give a signing instead of signing, we could give a thumbprint.
For this, a question from the stakeholders, would you agree on what we're moving forward on from a thumbprint to doing like a contact list and doing the whole aspect, or would you do what would your thoughts on that?
do you have the equipment to use that? Like, do you have like the
Yeah.
new MacBook or whatever to be able to do this, or
Yeah, that was the
should
that
we
was,
make the assumptions? Yeah, should we make the
Yeah.
assumptions that
So
we
let us
have
say we
it?
want.
that's the thing. There's like a lot of assumptions with thumbprints. So for that, that's for like a later idea for
Mhm.
Mhm.
the app or for the company. So right now,
Mhm.
what we could tackle is the phone number, because everyone knows what phone,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
being born like X amount of times, you could have been
Mhm.
what phone numbers are.
How about I'm thinking to put a picture of the person they're dialing.
That's perfect too.
Um,
That's normal too. Like from like that's what we're doing now, like contacts and stuff.
yeah, so
Uh,
maybe put a picture and then they can click on the
Uh,
picture to make it
uh,
easier. Because I'm
for the
thinking,
for the stakeholders, one more thing. Is this problem the way we are going? Are you guys okay if we go full bleed and an open sky solution, or we have to stick to some grounds?
No, no, it's okay. You can do whatever you want.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
So right now I'm doing is like I'm splitting up like 3 screens from sign in to contact to video call. I don't know if anyone wants to jump in a certain 2 screens or just what you guys want to do. So like this would
oh,
be
I need to, how do you, oh, okay. No, I
sign
see.
in. This one middle is contact list, and contact list should show the dial number also. So either just a hypothetical look on the phone. And last but not least, the video call, how it will look like when two or three, 4 people will see each other. Yeah, let's get to work. We have about 8 minutes to do it. Got this. Logo, perfect. The video call.
All right, so I have the picture with the contact, the sign in. The sign in. Like, we also have to make sure like that the tab would be big enough for accessibility. So, we'll put a note here on the side that we should have large type. Large type. Fine, large type. Should we use? Should we have an option here, like to use voice? Or should I add like a little button that you could
I think
give the order? Like you can click or use a voice.
I think that's good.
You have some ideas in the chat as well. Christy say why if it integrate with Facebook so that they can pull contact info into the platform from existing friends list.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, you can read it in the chat. What if if integrates with Facebook so that they could pull contact info into the platform for existing
Oh, that's a
friends
great
list?
idea. So
It
yeah, we
is.
can add like like Google, Facebook here. Maybe I'll add it here. So so how about we'll add here that you can sign in with. I mean, I'll go out of the box here because we run out of room, but we could
You
do
change the box.
sign in with Google or yeah.
I mean,
sign.
I guess the more options we will be giving, will be more confusing. I feel we should keep it, the lesser the better, because I don't think so. A 65-year-old adult might be really so intrigued to go sign in with Google or sign in through Facebook,
Or maybe
unless.
import, or maybe we'll put it in here with the contacts. Import. No. they have to, I mean, you do have, I mean, 65-year-olds use, many do use Facebook. Google, I'm not sure about contacts on Google. Maybe.
The more traditional we keep the approach, the more better, because they, irrespective if they use Facebook or Google, they always have a thing in their mind that technology is, they are scared of tech at the end of the day. Because I work as a cashier at one of the stores, and I see lots of like 65-year-old, and they still
Yeah,
use the QWERTY keypad phones hung around their
yeah,
neck, and they don't really use a
yeah,
smartphone of a big smartphone.
yeah. Yeah, they're fumbling with the device. Okay, let's think this one over.
Yeah, but we can
This
still
out
keep it
for
as an
now.
option.
Yeah, that could be like maybe in the future after we try it out, we should do some testing, and then we could see if we can really need that. So we're going under the assumption that they're not using the social media as much, not very familiar. Save the contact. So should we have, I started here like a picture and then the contact.
So right now I'm at dials,
So
just
you're,
like numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, just to emulate the idea of like what a phone.
you mean like a dial?
Yeah, dial.
You don't think that it's going to be simpler to just click the picture or the name or
Hypothetical. And
the
then
phone number?
Yeah,
this is hypothetical. So left-hand side, you could put a contact list of like names and faces. It doesn't like just others. There are options.
Yeah, actually, we can assume like the people working in the retirement home, they will manage their contacts. So each old people might have their
Yeah.
contacts
Contact
already.
Each person will have contacts already there.
so the
So that's
contact
what
list will be ready. So the
Yeah,
contact list will
yeah.
be ready. Just need to
Yeah. So
click
they'll,
the
You
list.
can assume that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. I
so
guess then I
we'll,
don't think so. We can just give like a calling button, or there's something like a big bold button with a good
so,
color that says call. And this,
wait, so,
and we don't even need to give a button, I guess. The more clickable area, the better. So we can keep the call, the entire name of the person the user needs to call as clickable, and it will be a direct dial, a video call.
yeah, oh,
Okay, cool.
sorry.
Logo. Sign in.
So we're going in, we're signing in, we're picking a contact. You pick a contact, and then you get, what is this? This is the family member reader. Who did this one? Can you explain it to me? What's going on here?
This is the video call. The family member on the left hand face, and the greeter's face is on the right hand side.
I see.
They could go to the left hand side if they want to go to a menu or contact, or if they want to stop talking to them, they could do a hang up, or if they want to hold.
Do you want to put like in between a screen that shows like the, like success is dialing, something to show that it's going? Because I'm assuming there's a little bit of a delay between pressing the contact and dialing, so putting in between.
On when it's completed, when like you're thinking about when it's loading. So that's more of a
Yes. Right. So in between contact and the call itself, like to have something that shows like,
It
well,
says
connecting.
it's like a dialing one.
Yeah, like something that says, oh, okay, dialing, or some kind of, oh, you got it. Okay, so I'll delete that one. So,
You have 6 minutes more.
Thank you.
okay, dialing. What else? So we have senior citizens that are, not as technically savvy as the younger generation. They want to dial. We want to make it easier for them. We're focusing on the dialing itself. We're trying to make it accessible. We do large type, make it as simple as possible. It's really pretty much very small steps.
Yeah, and even in this on the second screen, what we can do is we can segregate. So considering that they are 65
Maybe-
years old, and we can segregate the contacts in a manner recently called or favorites or something in that way, because I guess the people will be calling their kids or their friends whom they want to talk on daily basis, not someone who
Yeah.
they, and if they want to talk to someone very, very specific, they can always search through it. But I guess we should give a first option that says recently contacted / favorites, anything, which will help them
Or
scroll through their daily contacts or something.
yeah, maybe yeah, I'm still hung on that voice thing. I'm trying to think, because if you go when you're, you have the, the latest ones, last calls you made, and then if they're looking for something else, and if they have a long list, so they have to go through it. So we need either a search or like a voice command, call, I don't know, call Johnny, call whatever name. So we need some kind of instructions, right, when you come here. So we can write instructions, and we can also do a voice or something. So we're gonna write search. Maybe we could do search. Trying to think if to put it on a separate screen to make it simpler, because the screen is already loaded. It's going to be loaded with contacts. We want it as clean as possible, like not too condensed. Let me see, call. See if I call. When we use WhatsApp, we have the text, we have a picture of the video. We have to, some kind of thing. What is, oh, those are the recent calls?
Just like
I think this, I think this screen is there's too much on this screen.
yeah, that's the
But then
thing.
again, it's small, yeah.
Well, that's when we're saying if it's too complicated, the stakeholder already mentioned that the person will be helping them, and
Right. But you want them also to feel a little more independent to be able to do it. I think it's possible for them to do it, unless you're dealing with a really, really older, much older population where it's really hard. But we're dealing with 65 and older.
Yeah, so if it's going to be,
we don't want them to feel,
Dependent on the people they are staying with.
Yeah,
like,
you want to give them some.
A bit of independency is always good, but then as the stakeholder said, there are always some other people to help them out there.
yeah, that's why I put the recent call, so it's more like
Yeah. Instructions.
And you have 1 minute left.
Okay.
Last but not least, check out the
Let's see.
down links.
Maybe this phone number. Okay. We go in, sign in. This is something, sign in. Then we look for the. So if you're. So I go and I want to sign in. I open it, I sign in. Then I go. The next thing I want to see is find my contacts. So we have the contacts, we have recent contacts.
Okay, time's up. Thank you very much, guys. How did it feel? It's a lot of pressure, huh?
Yes.
It was.
Yeah, that's good.
It was a
I
good
like the
exercise.
curves.
It was a good exercise for the brain after quite a time.
Yeah, in a real interview, we will be 10 times more. So keep that in mind.
And this is
a good
and 11
practice.
o'clock at night over here.
Yeah, okay. I have some comments, but I want to start with you guys in the room. I saw a lot of nice questions in the chat, so please go ahead and ask your questions.
Okay.
You can unmute yourself. Who wants to go first? Comments or?
I have a little comment. I think you
Okay.
guys did an excellent job, and I think you got a lot of features out there that seem to be important for this user group. My only comment is maybe in the beginning of the process, I think maybe you could have asked a few more questions about the users to kind of guide your decisions, because at a certain point it seemed like you were making a lot of the decisions saying, oh, well, I think they might like this or have this problem. And since the stakeholders, I think Mike made the comment in the chat, but it's a good comment that the stakeholders are always there. So it's good to keep asking questions if you don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
But overall, really great job.
Thank you.
My only comment is I just wanted to know what was the problem you guys were trying to solve?
So the problem we're trying to solve is we have senior citizens that want to make video calls, and it's hard for them to do it. And we're trying to find an easy way for them to go through this process, to make the phone call. I mean, we were trying to do with the least amount of assistance, but then the stakeholders said that they will have assistance, so we have a little bit more freedom of adding things in there.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm just thinking about this. Like, if you guys had more time, it's like, you know, if you guys were really trying to develop what the actual problem is, I think more questions could have been asked to the stakeholders of what exactly is the problem that, you know, a person 65 and older, they have good motor skills. They're actually, it's actually younger than you actually think. Someone actually put in the chat that it's actually retirement homes are about 85 years old and older, right? An average, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they have tech savvy, so and then they have someone that can help them. So then what is the actual problem that you guys are trying to solve? Like what is it? What are the problems that seniors are having? Is it more hard of hearing that they can't hear things? Is it a visual thing? Is it more of a, or is an accessibility thing? So you know, that's my only comment would be more asking more questions to the person that the stakeholders, and trying to figure out you know, go a little bit deeper into like the actual problem before jumping into ideation and stuff like that. But I think you guys did a great job.
Yes.
No, thank
Yeah,
you.
actually, yeah, I think you have a very good point, and I think part of it is also, I mean, on my part, I made assumptions that I should have asked more questions. I mean, I happened to recently be on a lecture about senior citizens and accessibility on websites, apps, and so on. And it was very interesting to hear where, yes, many 65-year-olds, which I was trying to make that point earlier, they are tech savvy, not as savvy as a 30-year-old, but they are able. But as you age, your reaction is slower, your processing is slower. So if you have too much on the screen, it's overwhelming. Not because you're not capable, it's just that as you age, your vision is different, your reaction is different, your processing is different. And I made those assumptions, but I should have asked, you know, like, because it's a challenge, I should have asked and not just use my assumptions or my background knowledge. Yeah, so yeah, should have asked and not use my assumptions.
Oh, no problem. It's like you guys' first time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, but I totally agree with you. I see the, you know, that I should have
guys,
asked.
you should talk
I
to
agree
each
with
other
you.
more too. Like, talk to each other. I think, is it Vidal? He was communicating very well. It's just you know, like, disagree is fine. You guys can disagree and you guys can go back and forth, right? I think when you're especially doing the interview, the person looking at it and assessing you is trying to assess, can you take instruction, can you take criticism, and can you defend your design? So and I think, guys, you can, more senior people can speak to this. It's more about the communication, how you guys are doing the thing?
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Oh, sorry. We can go.
sorry, we need to jump to the other group now, but I just want to comment something. I don't want to comment about your solution because it's something different, but about the process, you gave great of good ideas about accessibility and all that, but you never wrote that on the board. So it would be nice if you keep thinking out loud and at the same time you write your ideas in the board. That's very important. And don't try to solve the whole problem. Maybe you can consider the whole problem and they say, because we don't have too much time, we are going to work now in this part of the flow. So you don't need to come up with the full solution. You can concentrate on something in the screen you feel like it's more important for the problem, for example. So yeah, don't feel the pressure that you have to finish something. Remember, the objective of this is not to come up with a solution, is to see how is your process. Okay. Okay, guys, we need to go with the other group. We have only 15 minutes left, but if you want to stay after hours, please stay. This is very fun to go until the end and to see what the people are, their solutions. Okay, the second group is, who is it? I put it here somewhere.
Andre,
so I have Andre.
Jasmine.
Yeah, Andre, Christina, and Jasmine.
Congratulations for the encouragement.
Yeah, so I send it to Andre. Christy is here. And Jasmine. And Jasmine. Leticia too.
Yeah. Please.
Okay, Leticia. This is the.
Okay.
Remember, we can continue the discussion on Discord. So if you want to get some feedback on Discord, please connect there too. I'm going to paste the link now in the chat. So the group 2. Leticia, do you want to be the stakeholder now?
What? Sorry?
Do you want to be the stakeholder?
Oh, okay. Let me see. Create a learning app. I didn't prepare the topic. So, okay. Yeah, I will try. Yeah,
if you want, I can go. Okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah? Okay. Okay, guys. You can unmute yourself, Andre, Christine, and Jasmine. And 25 minutes counting now. Andre, you are mute.
Hey guys, hey Christy and Jasmine. Okay.
Hello.
Yay.
Don't worry, guys. We got this. Jasmine's our fearless leader. She's going to be leading this one for us.
Yeah. Okay.
Ask questions. You're good. You got this.
Okay. So we have to create a learning app for preschoolers, and I want to ask a stakeholder about: is it going to be a web app or mobile app, or it should be responsive for all the devices?
It is going to be responsive for all devices, but mostly for tablets.
Okay.
Because those young preschooler children uses more tablet than phone, but tablet and phone is mostly.
Cool. Okay.
Who will be using the tablet?
The 4 to 5 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Does anyone have kids?
No.
Fortune, can you come on? Do you have a 4?
Yes.
Can a 4 or 5-year-old?
I actually have a 4-year-old. Yes, she's
Okay,
using a tablet. She's zooming in with school, and she even knows how to put the password to get in.
Lucas, do you have kids too?
I do have kids, and my kids they shouldn't, but they know how to do everything with computers and phones.
Yes.
One is my son, and yes, he has a tablet. My daughter is 8, and she has tablets and computers. But I'm maybe living in a bubble, being honest.
All right, so now we have parents in here. Okay, so this first question would be: when you first introduced them to, say, a program that was for school or something that was a learning program, how did you guys onboard them? Did you learn the app first, or did you let them play around with it?
So I open it for my, I mean, today she had a Zoom session. I opened the tablet for her. I mean, no, she opens it with the password, but I put Zoom on. I put in the passcode and the whatever connection, the link, and from there on, she uses it herself. She does the whatever the teacher says. She unmutes when the teacher says to unmute, and she mutes when she needs to.
So she
And then when she's
understands.
done, she closes it and she goes to YouTube to watch.
I was more thinking about when you first got them on, like when you first introduced the tablet to them. Can you take me to the time when you gave them the tablet, you started to work on how to learn how to use the tablet? What did she gravitate to? And then also when you're taking the doing the work as well, like how did you kind of learn? Did you want to learn the process as well, or did you learn it together? How did you do that?
So it's hard to tell because she started using the tablet when she was 2. And she just, she saw us use the devices and she wanted to, and she asked to play with it. So I showed it to her and I downloaded some app and turned it on, and then she was playing with an app where you learn the alphabet. So I just showed it to her. I loaded everything. I signed in and all, and then she takes it from there. And the app has instructions, voice instructions for her.
Voice instructions. That's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Jasmine or
Yeah.
Christy, do you have any questions? Because since I know we want to talk to the stakeholders, but it's really good that we have 2 parents in here that could answer some like really interesting questions.
Sorry, Liz, this is
Yeah.
low. This is okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Using research, how's that not okay?
If you want to participate, as a stakeholder, please try to keep your answers short because we have not too much time. But yeah, I think it's allowed. It's not a problem.
Okay.
And remember, guys, you can make all the assumptions you want.
Cool. So one thing, Andre and Chrissy, I came to know that we need the sign up process. The sign up process should be very simple because as the kids, they might need help. So if we make it very simpler, so they can do it on their own, or they can help. So it should not be complicated, I guess.
Okay. So sorry, who's the stakeholder again? Is it Liz or Letitia?
Leticia.
So question for you is that in learning apps that you've used in the past, what are some of the problems you've had with them? What are some pain points for you, especially the correlation between, or not the correlation, but how you reflected with the children and with you? Was there certain things was it hard to set up? How did it work for you?
For me, almost 30 years old woman.
Yes.
You think a 30 years old woman is the same for 4 years old child?
Well, so the reason why I asked this is because you as a teacher or whoever is going to be teaching it will have to set up the program and try to figure out the way that they are going to build the program. Because we're not, obviously, we're going to be designing the program, but we're not the ones that will actually put together your actual lesson, right? So there's going to be things that you're going to have to do and get into the program. It's not going to be just like, oh, here's something that we've curated. It'd be something that would be up to you. So then you actually would have to learn the program, know it and understand it, and putting together lessons. So what I'm trying to think about is like, how do you put together lessons, and how have you and the students interacted with it so that we can kind of figure out what the problem here is?
Okay, you have here 2 kind of users. So you have the teacher and you have the child. In my situation, as I didn't have the experience as a teacher before, but my assumption could be those, how to say, like, how can I invent that,
That's
Yeah, go ahead.
let's go back to this. So when you're using this app, will you be using it in a way that is it all the students in the class will be using it at the same time, or is this something that they'll be using on their own?
Could be both. I mean, you can create this today. You can create this learning application that they are at home by learning in their home because of COVID.
Okay. Fortune, when you have looked at other learning apps, did you have to actually log in to the application, or did you have to log in one time and then the kids can jump in and do it?
I have to log in an application to learn, for example, a language.
Okay.
So I have to log in, and the application has the track of my learning process.
Okay. So did you guys, Jasmine and Krista, did you have any other questions so we can maybe start talking about the problem we're trying to kind of solve here?
I have one question, like any particular feature that you must have used other apps, right? Other learning application, any particular feature that you wanted to implement, or you wish that, oh, this will be helpful and we can include that?
Yeah, for sure. The gamification could be a one feature that could be great for learning apps.
Sorry.
The gamification.
The gamification. Okay, cool. Got it.
Okay, so Jasmine and Christy, let's. So we don't have much time. How much time do we have left?
16 minutes.
15 minutes?
16. Yes.
16. Okay, so ladies, I'm not sure if you guys are ladies, but maybe we should think about what kind of problem we're trying to solve. So from what we know from the stakeholder is that they want a new app, a learning app, and that they'll be the ones using it to kind of teach students or preschoolers at 4 to 5 year olds.
Right.
So what do you think our problem is that we're trying to solve here? Like, I know we have two kind of users here where it's the actual person setting up, and then there's also the actual child's way. So what do you guys think would be our problem that we're trying to solve?
I think it's filling in kind of like an education gap from the sounds of from the people that have given responses, is filling in maybe a little bit of an education gap where they're not at pre-K or something to help parents that might not have the knowledge that they might get that benefit from a teacher, and just figuring out how to get them started on some of those fundamental concepts without a teacher's knowledge, and kind of maybe I'm wondering too if maybe this app, as well as gamification, maybe integrate with the school system so that it could provide information to that school system so that when classes open up, it could be kind of like a rounded platform.
Cool. I like what you're saying there. Jasmine, what do you think about, instead of us actually trying to create the app, maybe it should be an onboarding system to try to figure out, we don't have a lot of time, and we're not trying to kind of solve the whole problem here, but maybe if we worked on a user flow, maybe going from the teacher's perspective of how they would actually build out this app or build out lessons for the students. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, so I think there should be, first of all, two kinds of app, like as a student, and as a teacher. But since we don't have that much time and we have to build the MVP version, so we can go with the teacher perspective. So as a teacher, I can say that they must be able to log in, and then they can create the courses and upload them, and maybe in the form of some games or videos where students might find it interesting, and they can keep the track of all the students who watched it, and maybe they have some assignments also and grades too.
Okay, awesome. So let's start with the login screen. All right. So the happy path of a user flow and Letitia, if you can speak to this, is basically you open the app, you go into the app, you log in, and then you have you come to the main menu, and say your task is to build an app, build a lesson. you take either build a lesson, or we can have pre-made lessons, like, that you can build from. Then you build the lessons out, and then you have all the students. So there's a lot of different steps that we'd have to take here, especially if it's if it's an onboarding, right? So login screen, going from there to the main screen would be, instead of going to a menu screen, we may have to do a setup screen, right? So how many students does this person have? What, obviously the age is 4 to 5, but we should also have the option if they wanted to do certain types of levels of student. All right, so they might be 4 to 5, but they could be a little bit higher, a little bit more difficulty, could be difficulty level, right? And then deciding on how the information will be displayed, and then also how they would receive feedback. So maybe that, instead of an actual menu screen, it would be kind of taking them through deciding those different factors. How do you guys think about that, Christy and Jasmine?
I think that it could be, I think we get really complex, because I can even imagine, you've got different types of, the parent can log in and see progress, the student could log in. I think that could get really, I'm kind of really more curious about where, like how we would break out the curriculum. So would it be like on the menu screen, would it just, if we want it picture driven so that a kid can log on and access it? I know we're going with the teacher perspective, but maybe just pictures of colors and then numbers, and then you click in there and then it opens up a curriculum, like a Khan Academy kind of thing. And then it can be like a progressive thing, and you get stars for every time you complete a different module.
That's an awesome idea, Christy. But I think we're just getting a little too ahead of ourselves. We're trying, we don't, in my estimation, if we're doing an onboarding for, say, the teacher, I don't think we need all of that right away. I think we would have to kind of like take a step back and figure out how the teacher will be able to, maybe we'd use that idea on different ways that the teacher can select how their lessons are built. Maybe that's the way we do it. So if we go from login screen to the menu, or sorry, not onboarding. So you select the users, right? And then what's the next thing that they want to do? Build out lessons, or build out how the lessons are. So let me just kind of show you, because we want to build a user flow instead for the student, for the teacher, before we kind of get into the student. So like that idea is really great. I think that's awesome, because now you can do all sorts of kind of funky things, but if we take a step back on how do they get to that point, that's what we kind of want to try to make here.
Right.
So yeah, perfect. So user flow, and login. And then after login, we want to go to an onboarding, right? So what would be our next step? What is the next thing that the teacher needs to see?
Maybe courses that he or she has already published before, and how many students have watched or completed it.
So when you say published before, would that be other teachers that have published?
Because no, this is the same teacher.
Time.
So
this is
sorry.
The first time coming on, right?
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah. So what do you think?
Remember, guys, you can choose one of the things you think is more important for this problem, and only draw those screens. You don't need to do the full flow.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's think about it then. If they are going through courses, right? So they get a screen of courses that are pre-made probably by us, but then they want to we give them the option to kind of make their own screens, or sorry, their own courses. So could we display that? What would be the user flow from there? So they go to the login, they go to the courses that are kind of displayed. Can you just add underneath login, adding hold on, I can do that, right?
Sure.
Yeah, feel free to change my titles. I just thought I'd set up like a baseline.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do it here. So we have
Okay.
the login screen. How do you do this?
Right. Yeah.
That's fine. I'll do like this.
Yeah, move it around. Yeah, completely around.
And then from here, like my thought process was not an actual menu, but what is the next thing that they're going to do? So, so this would be add class, classroom, class, student names. All right, so we can have that. We can also, if she has multiple classes, maybe we do, if we separate into class 1A, okay. So say she has two classes, right? 1A and 1B.
And then, yeah.
So she adds the students' names into that. From there, we can also add, they can decide the level. Let's just say medium and then hard. Right, so we got that. So then the next thing they want to do, what would be the next thing they would want to do on this list, right? Hold on 1 second. It's actually select. Select from select. What would you call them? Classes, courses, lessons.
Lessons.
Yeah. So let's see. It helped if we got a lot more prepared for these interviews. Here. Okay. Select from lessons. So we can make it so that they can select from pre-made lessons and
we can have a like corresponding quiz based on each lesson. Maybe if a student takes it and then he or she will be evaluated and their grades are also can be mentioned.
yeah, that's a great idea. So the pre-made lessons, create your own. Okay, so now here's a part that we need to kind of talk about. So once we've done login and once we've done adding the children or the class names, and then they can pre-select their lessons or create their own lessons, what would be the next part of the work, the user flow for this for a teacher?
Probably setting the achievements for the gamification. So maybe different level, like whether you're getting stars or like at what kind of benchmark in the class that you would get in it, like an achievement.
Oh, cool idea. So the customizable. Customizable. Okay. And then how does the teacher how does that help them identify, like once we've set up achievements and stuff like that, is there maybe a way that they can, I guess, the next part, sorry, 1 second. So we select the lessons, so that achievements, and then I think once those are set, then we have to move on to how we're going to distribute this, so they can decide how to distribution list, right? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean that's great actually. Yeah.
All right. Do you guys have any questions for the stakeholder now that we've kind of seen this user flow? Like where do we see some problems here? Letitia, what do you think? Do you feel that this kind of makes sense to you when you've used learning apps before, that you built out a login screen? How does that work for you?
Okay, for me, the create learning, this you have two users. The main users is the child, and you are designing for the teacher in this situation. And okay, for the teacher is totally different. So you have the login screen, like a normal login for each one, and then you can pick the class, different classes, and how you are going to do this, the gamification part?
Well, I don't think, in my estimation, or I guess it's from you, do you need a gamification part for yourself as a teacher? That's going
As a
to be
teacher, no. How you are going to create the gamification with the
well, because
child?
of the time, we don't have time to go through workflow like that.
That's good.
We were trying to go with the workflow of how the teacher would actually set up the whole system, so that they can possibly send this out. So when we look at this, going through the login screen, then going to adding the students' names, and then actually putting them into levels of medium, easy, or soft. Then the next flow would be going to select the lessons, which could be either pre-made or created by yourself. That's where I'm guessing the gamification can come in, and we can actually start building out. Then after you've figured out what your lessons are going to be, then you set the achievements. Like what is it that is a passing grade, or where are some things where you're seeing, okay, well, this 4-year-old is having problems with this type of color. How could we tweak the lesson so that they can work on that? Maybe that could be individually, or very catered to the actual student. And then from here, we were trying to figure out what the last part is. I think I forgot what we were saying here.
As a teacher, for example, how do you are going to work if these children, or one children, amount of children, don't understand in a few tests that color or that number of that task?
Yeah, so from there, that's where I'm guessing the set achievements section would be. So once you're in the set of achievement sections, that's where you can kind of decide what it is that you want to see. So if a child can go through 20 colors and can get 15 of them right, then you know what, they don't need like extra lessons on that. But if they're going through the 20 questions colors, and they see that, you can notice that they are having problems with the color blue, and every time the color blue or something that kind of contrasts with blue, you can actually set those parameters to say, okay, well, maybe we need to work on different ways on how the color blue. So that could be all set in the achievement and customizable areas.
Okay, and what happened now if you, Liz?
Okay, guys, time is up.
Oh.
Great jobs, guys. How do you feel?
Christy, Jasmine, what do you guys think?
No, it's for you guys first, and then the rest.
Yes.
I think it was interesting for me also, just like learning the new, I haven't done a lot of Zoom calls, so I'm learning a little bit of like the Zoom platform, and then this, so a lot of it was like actually just toggling the different features. And yeah, but the class part of it, like the discussion part, was interesting.
Jasmine?
Yeah, it was good, like learning, because collaborating with other designers and just like seeing that how everyone thinks, and yeah, it's absolutely a learning curve for me.
I would say I wish Christy fought me on it a little bit harder. She wanted to do the user flow of this children, and I kept saying, no, I want to do the user flow of the teacher, right? But I wish you would have fought me on it. Like there's a reason why you wanted to do it that way. So don't worry. Like I'm cool, man. I don't have. You can fight me on it.
When I feel a little bit more confident with the platforms, I'll
it's not about the platform. Don't worry about the platform. It's what your idea, like what is the idea that you're kind of bringing out. And then obviously I talked a lot, right? So was that really helpful for you guys that I'm there talking and we're not talking to each other, right?
But you did get a lot of good information right out of the bat that kind of made it so that we didn't have to ask a lot of questions as we went through the process. You kind of, you took that right out of the beginning, and then we could really just execute on the design from there. So
yeah, I was trying. Main thing was trying to figure out the problem. I still feel we could have worked on the problem a little bit more, but I know we wanted to kind of get through it. Just that.
Yeah.
What is the learning for this then? What is the learning for you? What is the learning for this for you?
For me, I think again, my problem is I like to jump to conclusions too quickly. I feel like I would rather. I think if you gave me an hour, I would have still been asking questions, trying to figure out what it is that I'm trying to. What is it that you as a stakeholder is trying to create here? So if you're just trying to create just a regular app, maybe there's ways to make the idea better so that it works even on a better way. That's why I asked the questions I did. Like, well, we're trying to onboard you. I think the experience for the children, I don't think you need to focus too much on that, because in my estimation, I think that the teacher is the one that kind of curates the lesson plans. So if we built the thing mainly towards the teacher, the cool graphics and the colorful things, those things can kind of work its way through. It's the actual experience of the teacher actually building the lessons, because if you don't yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we don't have too much time, so I interrupt you.
Sorry,
but,
I talked too much.
So just some highlights.
1 minute left.
Some highlights, so you know the time you spent. So you spent the first 15 minutes just asking questions and defining the problem, and that's not bad. But what I'm missing here, like I don't see all of those things here on the screen. You didn't write all the assumptions, all the things you were asking. So I will recommend you in the future to write more about that, because it's 15 minutes and I see only these couple of lines here. The other thing, define better your personas. So you have two personas here. You have the children and you have the main personas, the children and the teachers, for example. So for both, you can define different goals, for example, and then you say, okay, so because of the time, we are going to concentrate in the teacher, how to create lessons, etc. But define that and put them in the board, because it's super important. The users, their goals, maybe write the constraints.
Problem statements.
Yeah, I like you can write like, how might we help the students to blah blah blah, whatever. Okay. Write more, because all of that has to be in the board. I like the flow you made here, and that's good. You can, what I normally do in the in this exercise, and I will write here too. I will do something like this, like I put all my flow like that with the titles here. This is the login screen, and this is something else. So then I put all my flow here with, and then I say, okay, because I consider like this, I'm going to concentrate in how I select, let's say, a lesson, and I will draw only that in the middle of that flow. So you give context first, your personas, your goals, your flow, and then you zoom in on something specific. That might be something where you can showcase all your assumptions and your kind of research part of the problem, and then you go to only draw a couple of screens.
Perfect. Yeah, I think I agree. I completely agree. We should
and you should have a timer with you too, so you know you can control yourself and see how much you can continue asking things. And
guys, this video, by the way, is recorded, so you can review your whiteboard and you know, and see how you work, how you feel, how you collaborate, how you collaborate here in the whiteboard to see, okay, this is my problem, this is not a problem, or I should change this. I can practice the next one in the IterateUX, you know. So
yeah, we have this each
but
month,
anyway, guys, this is a good practice. I mean, it is not a final interview, but if it's an interview, it's 100 times worse. So keep it up, keep it doing.
We need to finish soon, so maybe the last comment, someone else wants to say something, maybe not about the solution, but maybe the process, how they can make it better.
Can I speak?
Lucas?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
No.
someone raised the hand. I think
Lucas.
Yes, it's me. So first, congrats. I know that is a hard call, and I know that doing 20 minutes is 20 minutes, I think, right? It's quite hard. Usually this exercise, they last like 30, 45 minutes, so it's way longer. And it's usually not a lot of people, just you and someone else. So the environment's really different. And I know that doing with more people watching and also being recorded makes the task a little harder because of that. So my feedback, but just to give you a little bit of feedback on the two exercises here. First, that I want to say that sometimes the output that is expected in a whiteboard challenge is not a flow. I have done and I have participated on whiteboard challenges where the output was give me a value proposition for a product that does whatever. So doing that, you have zero flow. So you don't invest any time with like discussions like, oh, login, position of the face, like buttons and things like that. Sometimes it's a presentation. Sometimes once I was in a meeting in a whiteboard challenge, the person was asking me how we would build a presentation for a stakeholder, do the whole process, and then build a presentation at the end at the end. Sometimes it's like give them a list of features that it would have for a product like that. So the whiteboard challenge can have different outputs, and I'm gonna try to go faster because I wanna give space to other people. But the second comment in general that I have to everybody, because of the output can be really different, you need to focus a lot more on the questions that you make. This is way more important what you ask than what the output that you have in the end of the design challenge, right? So making questions regarding the user, the context, the technology that is being used, and the market, it's really important. And one extra one that I rarely see candidates doing that at Google, at least, and I rarely see people doing that, is regarding monetization, right? Because we're talking about building apps, but how are we going to sustain the app? If you're building an app for kids, how are you going to make money with that, right? Or if you're doing what was the first one I forgot already. Sorry, my computer went to
create a video call app for seniors.
Yeah, for the same way, if you plan to do that, how are we gonna make money with that? How are we gonna monetize with that? So this is an extra thing that I don't see on whiteboard challenges. If you bring that to the conversation, it'll lean the whole talk with the stakeholder in a completely different direction, right? And position yourself as a person that thinks about not just the UI itself, but about strategy in general. So this is my feedback.
And you are a designer of business. You are a designer of business, so just a designer for
say again?
No, sorry. That is, you are a designer for business.
Yes. Remembering that as a UX designers, we need to pay the bills at the end of the day. And the companies that hire us, they need to pay the bills as well, right? So we're designing for users, but you have to have in mind what the scenario and the market is. And the other thing is the competition, always thinking like, if I'm doing a video call app, why the person is not using something else? Why would I build something like that? And questioning the stakeholder is something that is actually good, right? And usually also the dynamic in a scenario like that, it's a conversation. It's not like I'm saying things. I'm actually just asking things, and I'm putting my questions and comments on the board. One last comment. I swear. So usually when we do it, it's good to structure the whiteboard with at least with the few like entry points for user, context, technology, and market, right? So if you frame it like that, you can address everything regarding the user in one column or in one quadrant, one space. If you're doing that for the same for the context, you can do the same for technology. If you do that way, it's going to be easier to you to express your ideas. And if you don't have time at the end of the day to tackle something, you can, as an example, not talk too much about the market, but at least you gave the impression that is someone that care about that on the process, right? Sorry to talk too much.
No, it's okay. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for helping. Thank you. Thank you. Your advice is awesome.
Just I want to mention, like, because I think because we put in the prompt, like, ask question, user and context, write down the main steps, and do a few critical screens. Because of that, the groups ended up doing that. But good idea. We will do another kind of different kind of whiteboarding exercises, more for the product and yeah, different kind. It's a good idea, Lucas. Thank you.
Cool.
I think Cheyenne Evans has something to say.
Oh, hi. Thank you.
Hi.
Just to piggyback off of what Lucas's point says. So I'm a designer, UX designer for Samsung, and a lot of it when we go through whiteboarding exercises with candidates, it's good advice to reiterate what Lucas said, is to list out those categories as far as the user, context, technology, constraints. And that way, when you're working and collaborating with multiple people, because I know and understand whiteboarding with additional players is difficult to make sure that we're in sync as far as our goals. It makes it easier to reference back when you then try to map out, how to move forward. And then that also helps you kind of talk about the overarching story, because you are working on a product at the end of the day that represents a company's experience and that story. So you need to also talk about that. So great points, but I also wanted to add on to Lucas's points.
Yeah, thank you very much for all that feedback. Yeah, I think we are way too far from our normal end time. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Thank you very much for the more senior people for coming too. So IterateUX is a space like we want to give for people transitioning and junior designers, so they can have some good feedback like this. So we expect people with more experience to join these exercises too, and the idea is to help each other. This is a safe space for making mistakes. So please keep coming. Next meetup, I'm going to paste the link here, is going to be about design sprints. Ivan, he's a UX designer from Expedia. He's going to talk about what is a design sprint and some work he has been doing with another group too. So yeah, I hope to see you next Wednesday. Remember, every Wednesday we are here. We have portfolio reviews, we have these challenges, we have resumes review, and we have speakers. So every Wednesday, the same link here, 7:30 Pacific time. Yeah.
See you next week. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the encouragement.
See you.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Lucas and Chenny. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Andre. Good job. Thanks, Jasmine.